ימים יפים מאלה, הלב נלחם בדאגות. כולם יחזרו הביתה, נחכה להם למטה, הלוואי נדע בשורות טובות. כי עם הנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו כשקשה לראות. כולם ביחד, אף אחד פה לא בודד, שישרפו המלחמות. עם ישראל חי, אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים. עם ישראל חי, בעליות בירידות, גם בשעות הכי קשות. הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז מי יכול עלינו? כי אין לנו עוד מדינה. תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא אבדה האמונה. עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל חי. אור ארצי נחלתנו, לא תיפול כעת רוחנו, מסביב ברזל של חרבות. ויונה תפרוס כנפיים, התקווה בת שנות 2000, עוד נצא לשיר ברחובות. כי עם הנצח לעולם לא מפחד, אפילו כשקשה לראות. כולם ביחד, אף אחד פה לא בודד, שישרפו המלחמות. עם ישראל חי, אם לא נשכח תמיד להיות מאוחדים. עם ישראל חי, בעליות בירידות, גם בשעות הכי קשות. הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז מי יכול עלינו? כי אין לנו עוד מדינה. תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא אבדה האמונה. הקדוש ברוך הוא שומר עלינו, אז מי יכול עלינו? כי אין לנו עוד מדינה. תעשה שלום בינינו, שמור על ילדינו, כי לא אבדה האמונה. עם ישראל, עם ישראל חי. כי עם ישראל חי.
Shalom, shalom, folks. Shabbat shalom, Shavua Tov. May God bless you. God be with you. How you guys are doing today? Hope you guys are having a fun time. And Shabbat is over, and this is a new day beginning. So I hope you all enjoyed your weekend and ready to shoot for Monday for your regular works. Well, anyway, let us get back into our the continuation of the studies, what we were doing all these weeks. We were trying to unpack about the first century Christianity, how Paul could take this far and how he made it this far and what happened when. We have seen a lot of information all these 3 to 4 weeks of time, and including that we saw the information about Jesus was not the Messiah because he was not meeting the qualifications or the categories of the protocol that he is supposed to meet. He was not meeting, and that's why Jewish people totally rejected him. It's not because of that, like people say so many things. That's what I don't understand, because Christianity is like this. They try to listen to messages if somebody give some messages, and there are so many talented people. They give you mind blowing, inspirational messages. Definitely, it'll get you. It'll touch your heart. But how far that we can stretch those messages, how far the Word of God is telling. Are we following really the book? Are we following really the Word? Did we understand everything correctly? This is what very important, because anyone could give a fantastic message. Even those who do not believe in God could deliver a beautiful, wonderful message which will be more comforting, soothing to your heart and mind. It's always Christianity is full of comforting messages, soothing messages. It's exactly will make you to think. They're speaking the whole truth, but nothing else. So you should be careful. Are we studying the Word of God correctly? Because the world is completely filled with word. The world was created by the word. The world is a word, basically. So the word is everywhere. And in every movement, everything you make, it's about the word of God. That's what the God's filling in this whole world is here. So the so when we read the Bible, when we find the truth, it's going to be, as I said, that as a disclaimer I always tell, it's hurting. It's going to be really big hurting for Christians if they listen to these type of messages. They would definitely feel that some kind of a satanic thing that he's bringing up here, and the Jewish people are satans or something, devils, because they didn't accept Jesus Christ, and these type of things always will be there. There is no way possible that I would say that um, Jewish about the the image that was produced among the Christians and Christianity in the whole globally. So that's how they feel it. That's all they knew, and but actually they're all not true, which is not true. Zilch zero, and those informations are no valid or authenticity or anything with those type of information. Just they heard it and they believe it. So it's kind of a blind faith that we have in us. So one step further, because the coming days are so rough and tough, you do not know how and what and when and where what's going to happen. One side of it, it's kind of a natural disasters, natural calamity disasters on one side continuously happening. There is nothing blocking them, because we disturbed the earth and the nature long time now. So it's the consequences, we must face it, and it's happening right now. On the other end, the other side of it, the political issue, the political arena all across the globe, and the economy and all the other things are in a stake, or at a stake right now. It's so difficult. We do not know what's going to happen, especially in America. When we are here, we do not know what's going to happen next 3 to 4 months. It's so scary because of this election, how the politicians fight each other and how they complain. So there could be anything will happen. I Anything could be predicted. We don't know how what is going to be happen, but there is something is going to happen within a short time period. That much everyone knew about this one. Everyone, in the sense, everyone feels it, because it's always like that all the time during the election period, election time. So when we have all these type of problems and issues are going on, and when we follow certain thing, when we have a hold to grab, this is the correct hold, the right robe that I am holding it, we need to find out what is that going on. That's what my concern, folks, because I found it, I saw that it's not only me, several people are now turning back into the right path. So I'm giving it to you. This message is especially for my Indian community back, in India. That's what my focus is. I know that in people, those who are in America, they're all well, you know knowledge, and then they're all well aware of things what's happening in this place, so they can easily find some way to get the information. But I'm trying to pass it on to my folks back in India. That's the main idea and main purpose that I'm here to give this type of information. So if it hurts, bear with me, but try to find the truth. Once, if you find it, I'm positive, sure, you will be the most happiest person in the world. I'm sure what I'm having, the happiness in me, and it will come to you also for sure. There's no doubt in it. So hang on there. So we were seeing that, like Jesus was not the Messiah. That's why Jewish people, they couldn't able to trust him. They didn't believe him. They rejected him because there were certain qualifications that he didn't meet. And anyone would easily find out that, because when we have a qualification set already in the Bible, in the Torah, in the Word of God, and they're going to look for that because they were in major trouble. They were in a serious trouble. And in that time period only, they're looking for some help when there were like more than 20, 24 groups were claiming, and there were so many messiahs coming out, and they're claiming that I am the messiah, he was a messiah, this and that. When they were claiming like that, how come it's happening that they couldn't accept Jesus Christ? Because already he was doing miracles and everything. I told you miracles were not the authentication for a messiah. It's not a qualification or anything. So it is not at all. So that's why they didn't care about the miracles. They didn't care because it says in Deuteronomy 13. Why not we go and read the chapter through Deuteronomy? Then you would know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me go and read Deuteronomy chapter 13. Then you will find out what is exactly I am talking about. Deuteronomy and verse here 13. There you go. Okay. Oh my goodness. Come on. Wait a second. Okay. Let's see if it's pulling it up. Let's go. What happened? Want to pull it? Sometimes, my system crashes. It never brings up anything. Look at that. Exactamundo today. Why in my arena? And today? No? Yeah. So it says it very clearly. If there arise among you a prophet, Deuteronomy chapter 13 from verse 1, it says that if there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth, what do you call, giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of the prophet, or the dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Basically, what's it? If there is anyone comes to you, any a prophet or any dreamer comes to you and talks to you about or do some miracles, do some signs and wonders, and it came to pass and it happens, do not believe them, because he says that God is telling, do never, you should not hearken the word of the prophet or the dreamer of dreams, because the God is telling to you, I am your God. So that's what the problem is. So Jewish people, if anybody would come and claim that I'm the son of God, or I'm the prophet of God, or I'm the Messiah, they will test it. Definitely they will test it, because the law says, the commandment says to them, they got to be very careful. Deuteronomy 13 says, it is they have to follow that. So they will test it. It's not about anyone, even if it is Jesus or somebody else would have been there, for sure they will test it. So it was there, asking things, then, like try to find what's going on there. That's why they went and asked several questions to Messiah, but and then saw that Messiah Jesus was not fulfilling any of those categories. He was supposed to take over the kingdom. He was supposed to fight for them. He was supposed to rescue them from the Romans. He was supposed to, rebuild the temple. He was supposed to ingather all the Jewish people to the nation. It wasn't happening on those days. Nothing. And also, there is one more thing. They were expecting that they were not expecting Messiah at the time of when Jerusalem temple was standing there. The Messiah should come only when the Jerusalem temple was not there or is not there. Yes, that's what the time it was expected. But Jesus was there when Jerusalem temple was already there. So that was another question, another doubt that they could not able to believe Jesus as Messiah. And no, the historians, other than the Gospels, we don't know who wrote the Gospels. Other than the Gospels, the historian like Josephus, and also the other guy is called the Philo. So the Josephus, he never mentioned about Jesus as a prophet or anything, nothing. He didn't do anything about that. So they were living very closer to the years when Jesus died. Josephus was born, I think, maybe in AD 37 or something. So he could able to collect the data, what happened on those days. Practically. So in his books, he didn't write anything about Jesus Christ. There will be one short paragraph or something. That too, it was introduced after some time through somebody, not by Josephus, because there were so many copies of Josephus in Hebrew copies or Arabic copies of his book, never had that type of that insertion about the Jesus Christ in the original books. This was happened only later on. Somebody inserted a small paragraph in that one, which was not about Josephus, because the original books doesn't have anything about Jesus Christ. So you got to understand this one. I know, like back home in Christianity, I think people never heard all these things. These type of things are very new because they all think that, we go to church, we worship Jesus, and we come out. That's all they think. But there are certain things you need to know if you're obeying your God, if you want to follow God, you have to obey His words. Words are very important. And 13, Deuteronomy 13, 1 to 4, you must read those things and understand if there is any miracle worker. Okay, let me ask you this one. Okay, let us see and let us focus one thing. Do you think there were no other magicians at the time period, even after Jesus? There was. So why? Yesterday we saw one of the Messiah called Bar Kokhba, where Jewish people accepted him as a Messiah. How come? Because he came after the destruction of the second temple. He wasn't there at the destruction of the temple, before the destruction of the temple. So he came after the destruction of the second temple. So Jewish people, they accepted him as a Messiah. Bar Kokhba was the next Messiah after Jesus Christ. Okay, so after Jesus Christ, there was people making miracles. So we cannot conclude only miracles should be done by only Jesus Christ. I will prove you with the Bible verses. Then you will understand what I am saying is right or wrong. Let us look into that one. We're going to look into a couple of verses, which is John chapter 3 2 and Apostle chapter 8 11 to 13. John chapter 3 2, and we're going to check into Acts of Apostle. I'm sorry, Acts of Apostle chapter 8 from 11 to 13. Let's go and look into John chapter 3. It's going to be interesting. Okay, I'll show you. You'll definitely like this one. All right, let's see John chapter 3 and 2. Really? Yeah. So the same came to Jesus. Let's see, maybe, from the beginning, we can see John chapter 3. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God. See, you see, he's telling, and he was telling, what he was telling, we know that thou art a teacher come from God. So Nicodemus already accepting Jesus came from God. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest. So, or thou doest. So, what no man can do, like these type of miracles, unbelievable miracles. No man can do these miracles that thou doest, except God be with him. So if only God is with you or with anyone else, only those people could do these type of an extraordinary, spectacular miracles. God, Jesus, we knew already. That's what the um, testimony of Nicodemus to Jesus, right? Let's go back and read Acts of Apostles, chapter 8, verse from 11 to 15. So as I said that, Jewish people, they don't believe in miracles in the sense that, the people, those who are doing the miracles are the messiahs. That is not the qualification to become a messiah. That's the Jewish thing. Period. If you're doing miracles, fine, it's not a qualification. Why? Anybody, anytime, anyone can do the miracles and magics and tactics. That's a Jewish belief, right? But they're true. Let's go and read Acts chapter, I think 8. Let's go and read that one. Acts chapter 8, verses from 11 to, we'll talk about verse from 11, right? So in this verse 11, it says, um, let's see. Okay, we'll go and read from 9, verses from 9. But there was a certain man called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one. So he was boasting himself because he was doing something bigger in Samaritan. So in Samaria. So to whom they all gave heed from the least to the greatest, saying, This man is the great power of God. So the whole people, those who were there, and they were actually acknowledging him, saying that this man is a great power of God. So they already authenticating him, recognizing him. This guy was, because the miracles, the magics, what they were doing, the tactics, what they were doing, no one could do on that earth other day. So unto him they had a regard, because that of long time he had bewitched them with the sorceries. So he was there for a long time doing this one. So everyone knew this guy was from God. God was with him. That's why he could able to do miracles. Look at this, folks. It's not that, like, it's not. I didn't tell this one. I didn't create this one. It's already in the Bible. That too in the New Testament. That too same with the Paul's New Testament. Think about this. Jesus was not the only one person who was doing miracles and wonders and signs. There were people they were doing, and his name was Simon. And each actually there was a religion also was born, having Simon as a forerunner of that one. I think the Gnostic religion was actually basically was born, basically, making the Simon as the main person of that religion. So people were there. Bible talks about the Apostle Acts. The Acts of Apostle was talking about this one. I'm not making it. So there were people, those who were doing miracles at the time, and Jewish people do not acknowledge those miracles to become as a Messiah. That was not the qualification for any Messiah to be, to show off that there is a Messiah. So that's the main reason that Jewish people were not accepting him, Jesus, as a Messiah. And The Messiah was not expected during the time of the second reign. But he was. But if he is claiming that he was a Messiah, where is the authority? Why he didn't do so many things that he could have done? He could have stopped the Romans. He could have chased the Romans. He could have stopped the tarif, that is taxation. So many things he could have stopped, but he didn't do it. That was a problem. He did not do all those things. Then all of a sudden, he was claiming that he was a Messiah. That's why Jewish people didn't accept him as the Messiah. Here comes a Paul who was twisting things. I told you already, Paul was the one who was twisting things up, and in fact, he was the first person to write the New Testament. His books was the first book to be written in the New Testament book, the whole book. Not the Matthew, Mark, or Luke. His book, the Corinthians, was the first letter. It was written, like the AD 50s or something. That was the very first letter from this book. So Paul was twisting things up. Paul was gaining out of this something. We don't know. I have like 15 million discrepancies with Paul. Whatever he wrote was so many things we can disprove it right on the spot. One is this already. You've seen this one, this guy Simon, when Paul was preaching them, teaching them to all these people, already Simon, there's a guy called Simon, and he had such a famous one for several years. He was there, he was making all the wonders, and also the people believed that this Simon was the son of God, or a man from God, or the person who was authenticated by God. Everybody knew about this one, right? So Paul was so, as I said, that Paul sometimes he'll confuse you with his writings. He doesn't even know to whom he is writing. That is a problem with Paul. Could you believe anyone who writes a letter saying that, I am for a Jew to a Jew, a Greek to a Greek, a Gentile to a Gentile? How you can write that? How you can be a Jew would never say that one. Yeah, no, I can be a Jew today. Tomorrow I could be a Gentile, and day after tomorrow I could be a Roman or Greek. How you could do that one? That itself a not correct statement from Paul. Paul was telling, oh, I can be anyone in order to get the message outside there. In order to, you cannot do that. That's really, really against whatever we are preaching. That's not right, right? So Paul was the one, he was making a lot of problems there. He was fighting with the disciples. No disciples liked him. He had a fight with Peter, he had a fight with Mark, fight with John. Everyone whoever goes to him, it's a big fight, huge fight. He never wanted to listen to anybody. That's the Paul's condition. That's the Paul's situation. So Paul was trying to do so many things here, trying to, he was trying to convince people. Jewish people never accepted Paul's claim, and they sent him back to Gentiles. So that's where he was ending up with Gentiles, and Gentiles do not know anything, zilch zero about this religion. So zero about the religion. And then take the book and read, folks. Read the Gospels. The Gospels was so finely written, and nothing, even the whole New Testament, beautifully written, beautifully compiled. Why? Because of the Romans, they never wrote their name as a bad people. They never pictured. The whole Bible never pictured Romans were very cruel people. They were, brutally, killing the Jewish people, and the ruling was so hard. Nothing was written there. It was always good about the Romans. Nothing bad about the Romans. That's how the whole book was written. And when you read that book, and you would know and you would understand, nothing, no small even incident is written by the Romans. So, folks, as I said that today we have seen these magical things. Simon, it's the Bible itself. He was much bigger than Jesus because he was making a lot of miracles, and people believed in him as the Son of God. It's in the Bible. So, if Christianity believes that Jesus made the miracle, Jesus made the death came alive. You know what? It is not easy. I mean, it is easy to revive a dead person than to revive a living person. Reviving living person is a very big thing. You can tell any truth, any amount of fact. Reviving the living is so harder than reviving the dead. That's what I would say. So that's what the situation is right now. So, the miracle workers are never qualified to be a Messiah. Lot of miracle workers were there at the time of the first century and when the Jewish system was established there with the Christianity. And, there are so many other things we can still go and discuss, okay? Further, we can discuss a lot, but you learn a little by little, a small one point by one point, then you'll understand what I'm trying to tell. It's not my object, it must my purpose that you should come out of your things, but I want you to think about that one. Because Judaism is not about the evangelization, or Judaism is not about the bringing of somebody from outside. No, it's all about bringing the Jewish brothers to come back to the nation. That's one other thing. And secondly, give out the knowledge and wisdom what they have. That's what I'm doing, folks. So be careful out there, and please come back and watch these videos. You will learn a lot, and your mind will definitely get into a new wisdom and new knowledge, and your life will be so fantastically, understanding, and how to, make yourself, face the things which are going to come against you, because the Word of God will teach you more and more when you are studying the Torah every single day. I didn't start the preaching on Torah yet. This is only I'm giving you the introduction for everyone about the Judaism and all the Christianity, how it went into. So that's the first part of this thing I'm doing it. I'll start one day teaching in Torah, but I would like to have a good team who they wanted to learn Torah. Then we can learn the Torah very well. Okay, so hang in there, hang in tight, and we'll meet again next time. Shavua Tov and Shabbat Shalom, and Berkat Hashem Aleichem, and Ve'ish Merechem. That means Ve'ish Merechem means, and Berkat Hashem Aleichem means God will bless you and God will keep you protected. Take care, folks. Talk to you later. Get back to you guys as soon as possible. May God bless you. Take care. Bye bye.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נעשה בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפץ הכל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפץ הכל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפצו כל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפץ הכל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, לעת נשא בחפץ הכל. אזי מלך שמו נקרא, ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה בתפארה, והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה.